Hi guys. This is the first story that I published. It's called Dark Pilgrim by Frater Pyramidatus, which is me, and I want to read one of the chapters, which is chapter 34. Crowley and Hermes were quietly seated within a small aircraft. The aspirations of escape, perhaps asylum, and their altitude both verged into stratospheric intensity. He had taken his disciple and her little bundle of joy from the mystical obscurity of a wooden box into an airborne society where passports and banknotes were handed around like worthless trinkets. Both were dressed in curiously psychedelic, yet indubitably arabesque and swathing, Crowley having shorn her matting to a delightful and feminine crop. The locks that he had painstakingly salvaged were plush and vital, and augmented by jewellery both reminiscent of the backstreet bazaar and the catwalks of chaos. For posterity, Crowley had assumed the title of Sheikh Mual Adib. He had taken pains to pronounce it violently towards the customs girl. Hermes was his daughter, it was noted, and she required a gentle and calm passage due to her flagrantly pregnant abdomen. Sharia, as Crowley introduced her, was experiencing her first foray as a mother-to-be. They seemed a strange coupling. People noted the old and archaic form of Arabic that this unconventional sheikh parroted off. Such antiquated resonances contrasted almost tragically with the glaringly obvious fact that this man was not Arabic. He was just odd, but rich and educated to boot. Where are you going? Crowley pounced on this opportunity and had bombarded the customs lady with old and mystical locales that studied the borders of the Middle East like charms on a belly dancer. He would emphasize the syllables of their nominal life with an admixture of reverence and venom. To him, these confidence ploys were worthless embellishments to the true marvel that sat next to him, slowly sipping rum and playfully meandering her attentions into the foreign world that had appeared from beyond the truncated tetrahedral pyramid. A certain gravitas had developed in her diminutive and softly feline frame. The man who had befriended her was her father now, to all intents and purposes, and she acquiesced in this new world. Hermes had dwelt long enough alone, and stared longingly at the phantasmagoria that her patron navigated her through. Everything glowed brand new as all events, conceptions, perceptions, and words thronged about her as petals of certain yet indefinable ecstasies. The interlunar ocean of her aura vibrated as cleansed and coruscating consciousness. Hermes had blossomed into a crystal flower, ever unfolding inwards. All was fresh and new and bright and clear, and something was growing inside her. They sat and shared much sustained yet silent laughter. Crowley was drifting into his own past, and was set sailing into faint and curiously luminous memories of what seemed like many, many different lives. His shuttle towards the year 1875 was crafted with the unique alloys formed via meticulous Kabbalistic minutiae. The small bottles of gin that had lined up on the surprisingly solid table was his mnemonic ocean, and the soft dulcet winds that propelled his nostalgia further and further back, were wholly alien. Faces and spaces and traces of obscure, sometimes violent spasms of long-forgotten pathways in the labyrinth of his life presented themselves and asked for silent verification. Wondering if he had ever actually written down this phantasm or that, whether or not such and such a ghost had ever been immortalized through his writings, he was not certain. Yet invariably he bid each emergent form to pass by and allow deeper, yet deeper entities to explain themselves and reveal the quarries of what once was. A spectrum of colours jumped about in his cerebral sensibilities, only to inexorably merge into autumnal grey. Obscene harlequins of the past in turn shed their leaves into a great ocean of calm. His past had become simply just a past, and he resigned himself to deep and dreamless sleep. For the space of time it took an aeroplane to cross two, or maybe even three, of the seven seas, he had nothing to endure whatsoever. Ghoulish greys of the past parted, as the solar force of enlightenment dawned up and around and engulfed him with the white diamonds of Valhalla. He allowed the vacant wish for death to encroach upon his reverie. Crowley wanted to die, to wither and wilt, as any mortal may one day decide on. Crowley wanted to lessen the grip of his magical world just one iota, and allow himself to fall forever from the ladder of initiation, to relax for one instant his fastenings to the ladder of lights, and fall forever into the refulgent abyss called by the unenlightened death, and by others as a bitter sting. Crowley's contemplative stupor seemed uncharacteristic to the travellers that shared the aeroplane with him, and their displays of acumen with each other. He must just be tired, they unanimously acknowledged.